All right. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Afrique 24-hour TV. And of course, this is a morning show. This is our morning newspaper review. Welcome on board as we try to look at what are some of the things that are making news today. So today is, of course, Tuesday, 13th February 2024. Just hours to Valentine. That is Valentine's Day, which will be celebrated tomorrow, 14th. So karibuni sana, karibuni sana. So as you're joining me, ensure that you like the video, share the video, and just a reminder that if you've not subscribed, take this opportunity to subscribe to Afrique 24-hour TV. So there's a lot that we want to look at today. There's a lot that we want to look at even as we go through the newspapers, because with me, I have the Standard, I have Daily Nation, I have Nairobian, and I also have the East African Times. So before that, I just want to remind you of maybe some of the news that is there, that the president also managed to meet Paul Kagame in Dubai. And of course, we are still looking at the Azimio succession, among other stories. So you can have a look at this.
My good brother.
Yes.
Yes.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
We're having unusual continuous rain.
New phenomenon, actually.
It's everywhere there.
But even for our food production.
Raila is not expired. Raila is still strong. If Oburu, his brother, is this strong, then how about Raila, just a child who was born yesterday? So when you talk of contestations for the leadership of this country, others, people who are with us in leadership, particularly in our own coalition, you should not pressurize Raila to tell you that you are the one who is going to take over. No, just talk to people. Come, even here, if you force Raila to tell our people that they should elect you or they should nominate you to be their presidential candidate, without talking to them, without convincing them, they will not vote for you. So just come out and compete. Let Raila also be in the ballot. Let us be democratic. Let us select one best leader who will give us the leadership of this country. Let us not talk about it too early. Let us give everybody a chance, including Raila.
Okay, let us give everybody chances, including Raila. So interesting, so interesting. That a story that we are going to look at later, not now, but today. I can see Angela Sidani is already on the comment section. Karibu sana. Thank you very much. Welcome on board as we try to look at some of the news that are hitting headline today. So I'll start with the Standard. So if you can be able to see the first page of the Standard, of course, today people are paying tribute to the legend. So here I have the legend's last promise. You can be able to see the photo of the youngest world record. That is just 24 years old, Kiptum. So you are saying gone too soon. Marathon record holder spoke to the two people dear to his life, to his heart. Sorry, that is his father and his wife. He made them a promise that may just be that. To his wife, he vowed to be the first human to run a marathon under 2 hours. To his father, he had bought land and pleaded to build a church. Sunday night, the legendary athlete bowed out after being involved in a tragic accident. It was really sad, and people had to say a lot about him. If I just go through what some gentlemen and ladies said, Samson Cheriot, who is his father, said that my son had bought land for my local church, IFC. He had promised to begin the construction, but he has left us in a tragic accident. This is what the wife had to say. I gave him my full support when he promised to break his own world record. I promised to run affairs at home and encourage him. The great Eliud Kipchoge also had a word. I'm deeply saddened by the tragic passing of the marathon world record holder and the rising star, Kelvin Kiptum, an athlete who had a whole life ahead of him to achieve incredible greatness. I offer my deepest condolence to this young family. May God comfort you during this trying time. Of course, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Ruto, said this. Calvin Kiptum was a star. arguably one of the world's finest sportsmen who broke barriers to secure a marathon record. And we also had what the World Athletics President Sebco said. We are shocked and deeply saddened to learn of the devastating loss of Calvin Kiptum and his coach. So this is an accident that happened last day, and it really shocked the entire world when this young man had his life cut short. Again, on the the same paper, we are going to look at page 5, where Raila is talking to Ruto and is daring Ruto, is telling Ruto that do not touch our security organs. Of course, we'll get an opportunity to look through that. And those people who like sports, also in the last pages, you'll see how Ivory Coast proved doubters wrong in AFCON. This is a team that nobody knew was going to reach there. So second page and third page of the Standard is just talking of Kiptum's death. Of course, this is a sad death that has happened. Boss Lady, karibu sana, a long time, happy to see you. We normally have these morning shows here. Yeah, condolences to the family, friends, and may the soul rest in peace. So we just have to say condolences to the family of Kiptum for this sudden death. So if you open your newspaper in page 2 and 3, it's still the story of Kiptum. That is what dominates the story. You can be able to read it there and analyze it by yourself. So let us get to the most important page that forms part of our discussion today. That is page 5 of the Standard. Raila cautions against security legislation, and that is what is happening. Raila says Office of the National Security Advisor is an attempt by Kenya Kwanza to create a new national security organ outside the provision of the constitution. I know somebody is asking, how is this one happening? I know the Kenya Kwanza is proposing some positions in the security. So what has happened in this regime? We've been having some constitutional amendments. We've been having some constitutional amendments, and some of the amendments that people argue are not within the law. That is what we've seen of late, and latterly they are preparing to create a certain position that Raila said, no way, we are not going to allow you people to interfere with our constitution. Karibu sana, good year. I can see you already here. So there is something that is happening. Yeah? I just want us to look at it. The opposition leader says that parliament has no power unless through a constitutional amendment to alter mandate of National Security Council. This is what is happening. Opposition leader Raila Odinga has told the Kenya Kwanza administration to drop attempts to undermine the national security architecture of the country by creating the position of the National Security Advisor. In a stinging statement sent to the newsrooms yesterday, the ODM leader vowed to fight what he describes as the latest maneuvers by the Ruto administration through amendments to existing laws to take over control of the country's national security machinery. So Raila termed the National Government Administration Laws Amendment Bill, there's what is called the National Government Administrations Amendment Bill 2023, a miscellaneous stature amendment bill that seeks to amend several laws regarding national administration, with one of the acts seeking to amend the National Security Council Act as unconstitutional and untenable. So the acts of, he said that the Constitution of Kenya has a full chapter on the national security, that is chapter 14, and lays out the principles of national security, which is provided in Article 239. The national security organs, these ones being the Kenya Defense Forces, the National Intelligence Service, and the National Police Service. So Raila said that besides that, the Constitution provides that there will be a Ministry of Internal Security, and thereof a Cabinet Secretary and a Ministry of Defense, and also Cabinet Secretary and Principal Secretary for Defense. So this is what is taking place. The Kenya Kwanza government is planning to create a position. Yeah, they are planning to create in the amendment bill. They are planning to create something called the National Security Act. They are planning to amend it so that they can create some position that is called the National Security Advisor. So Raila feels that This national security advisor is a position that is illegal, and the Kenya Kwanza is just trying to interfere with our security setup. I don't know what your take is. I'll show you how you can join me in the studio and be part of this conversation for those ones who want to join the studio. And you'll just have to check on the comment section there. I've shared this link, so you can use the link and be in the studio. Meanwhile, you can also share your concerns or the comment there. Just type your comment. Let me know where you are watching from. Let me know your view on that issue of national security advisor. That is something that the Kenya Kwanza government is planning to initiate, but Raila has termed it illegal. And Raila has said that he is ready to fight it. He is ready to fight it, and he'll ensure that he fights it and it doesn't come into existence. I know today there's a lot that we're expecting, some fireworks in the parliament there, but we will go there later. So there's a lot of interesting stories. Page 6. Court acquits 4 persons in one out of many Triton oil cases. Yes, this has been order of the day. Every day you wake up, the court is acquitting, the court is acquitting. In other words, these people who are having some corruption charges, most of them are getting them dropped. Could this one be the freedom? You know, some time back when people were campaigning during the 2022 general elections, people were told that freedom is coming. I can see the freedom. Yeah, Kenyans can now see the freedom. They said freedom is coming. Now the freedom is here. So there is a dismissal of case marks the end of 22-year trial in which Devani was tried in absentia. He was not there, but they just kept on trying him. Yeah. So Devani was accused of engineering release of company's fuel from the KPC storage tanks without informing the financiers. So a court in Nairobi yesterday acquitted 4 persons who had been charged alongside Devani over the Triton oil saga. So those people who live in this country for long, they know the Triton oil saga. So the Milimani Court Magistrate Zainab Abdul said that there was no evidence to implicate them for the alleged theft of US dollars 12 million from Kenya Commercial Bank. Those acquitted include 2 KCB employees. However, it was unclear whether the Devani was acquitted. So the dismissal of the case marked the end of a 22-year trial. So for all these 22 years, the courts have never realized that there was no evidence to prosecute these people. So after 22 years, now the courts have realized there is no evidence. That is what is happening in Kenya. That is the nature of our courts. A case takes 22 years. You know, 22 years, if this person is innocent, you've wasted his time. You've destroyed his life. 22 years. Kazi yako inakwanga tu ni, you just wake up, you go to court. You wake up, you go to court. You wake up, you go to court. Basically, it is not fair. So if the courts knew that this person was innocent, they would have done it as early as the first year. So it's an early stage of accident of Kiptum. We will not want to speculate. Let the investigation take place. All right, Goodyear is referring to the death of Kiptum. I know what happens in Kenya if something happens. There's a lot of speculation. People will try to come up with their stories. I've seen people trying to come up with the stories. How did he hit the tree? And I don't know, the bonnet, and you know, those kind of stories. But life has been lost. We have to say sorry. We have to comfort the families and let the investigation take place, just as Goodyear is saying. Angela is saying that Kenya, there is corruption. Yes, there's a lot of corruption. Now look, somebody have been in court 22 years. After 22 years, the court is saying that now we don't have evidence. So why were you wasting time? Why were you wasting time? 22 years. Yeah, you are wasting somebody's time in 22 years. In the same page 7 of the nation, sorry, not the Daily Nation, but the Standard, there is a story of a female teacher who was stabbed to death in a broad daylight at her home. I was asking this question yesterday. What has happened in the world, not Kenya? What is not happening in the world? The world has become so evil, this evil, that people don't value life. People butcher each other like animals. No, we need to do something. We are the religious leaders, spiritual leaders. Waganga walienda wapi bana? This is the time that they need to do something. Eh? A lot of things are happening. So now look at this story. A female teacher stabbed to death in broad daylight at her home. A female teacher, 51 years old, oh my goodness, was at the weekend stabbed to death in her house at Kariamitu village. Yeah, Kariamitu village in Limuru, Kiambu County. So the preliminary police report investigation showed that the Irene Ngeno Buru, Dakachel, Irene Ngeno Buru was stabbed. Just a minute. Irene Ngeno Buru was stabbed where? Irene Ngeno Buru, a teacher at Tigio Primary School, was stabbed 3 times inside her house on Saturday by assassins who escaped. So the Kiambu County Criminal Investigation Officer, that is Agri Okoth, said that a multi-agency team drawn from the Tigoni, Kiamba, and the DCI headquarters has launched investigations into the incident. Yeah? We've collected samples of evidence, and the multi-agency team is trying to piece together even events that led to the cold blood murder. So Mrs. Ngendo, whose husband resides in US, has taught in a number of primary schools in Liburu for the last 30 years. According to the police, the perpetrators might have scaled the perimeter fence before attacking the teacher as she was eating fruits in her kitchen upstairs. What? Kenya is no longer safe. Huh? The country is no longer safe. What will happen to those people who don't have fences? A female teacher who've taught in that area for 30 years, and the husband in the United States of America. So you are just in your kitchen eating fruit, then you lose life. We are no longer safe at our home. Yes, Angela is asking huyu alikuwa anamtafutia nini. You never know. The country is insecure. No, the world is evil. Yeah? Evil people have invaded this world. I don't know what you're going to do. Yes, there is this. There are some nice photos there. There's another bilateral talk that is between the president of the Republic of Kenya and the president of Rwanda, that is Paul Kagame. So President William Ruto held bilateral talks with the Rwandan President Paul Kagame on the sidelines of the ongoing World Government Summit in Dubai. Remember, the president is in Dubai for a World Summit, and in Dubai, he managed to meet his counterpart, Paul Kagame. I know some of you are now saying that, oh, why did he go to meet Kagame in Dubai? Why won't he just meet Kagame here in Rwanda, Achukue Basi? No, they all met there on the World Summit. So it is because of the summit that is going on. Then they decided to have some side talk and have some bilateral talks. I don't know which talks they are going to have. Sijui kama ameenda kutafutia Wakenya kazi huko Rwanda, but what we know, we have some Rwandese. Is it Rwandese or Rwandanese in Kenya? If you go to Nairobi, they are the ones who are selling smokies. They are the ones who are operating these barber shop. And actually, they have some beautiful ladies there wenye wanafanyia watu massage ukishanyolewa. So I don't know the plans that they are having. I don't know if he'll tell Kenyans to go to Rwanda, yet Kenyans are seeing Rwandans are hawking all over, even in our villages. So we are yet to see the results of that.
My good brother.
Yes.
Yes.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
We're having unusual continuous rain.
New phenomenon, actually.
It's everywhere there.
But
Two East African presidents meeting in Dubai. They are discussing issues, matters. They are neighboring countries, actually. Good dear. What are you saying, Mr. Nangendo Ambua Imboy? Hey, that name. What are you saying? Okay, I can see it. Yakomba Mushi Lenje. Hey, okay. I don't know the language. Angela, I don't know which language is that. Good dear is saying the world is not safe. Of course, the world is not safe. Huh? So on this story, that one you'll be able to read. There is a bilateral talk taking place between our president and Paul Kagame Court of Appeal orders ex-Nairobi finance officer to fortify property. Yeah, remember these people who are in Nairobi, these finance officers, they really milk Nairobi dry. You know, Nairobi is one county that everybody who've been given an opportunity, so far the people we've seen at the helm of leadership in Nairobi, they've really been milking this county. They've really been literally milking Nairobi. Wamekuwa wakipora. When Kidero was there, you know what happened? Exit Kidero, tukakuwa na ile ingine inaitwa Mike Sonko. You know what happened? And now we are having Sakaja anatuambia ina work. So the people in Nairobi know, is it working? Ina work kweli ama imekataa? You know. So the former Nairobi finance executive Jimmy Kiambaa and his wife was sued by the EACC, yeah, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. So the case facing the couple arose out of investigations by the Anti-Corruption Commission. So the Court of Appeal has dealt a blow to the former Nairobi finance executive Jimmy Kiambaa and his wife after it ordered them to surrender the assets and money. So Court of Appeal judges Imana Laboa, Ali Aroni, and John Mautivo, in a judgment delivered on Friday last week, ordered Kiambaa, his wife Tracy Musau, Jimbise Limited, and Mudaiga Green Acres Limited to forfeit over shillings 113 million to the government. The couple and the two companies had appealed an anti-corruption court decision delivered in July 2016 in the initial suit by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption. Kiambaa had been ordered to forfeit that amount, and the case facing the couples arose out of investigations upon receipt of information that Kiambaa was suspected of receiving cash exceeding his unknown income through his bank accounts. So these are people who worked under, he was a Nairobi finance officer under the government of His Excellency Evans Odhiambo Kidero. So it is good that we have to applaud the courts that they are trying to recover some of the money that was stolen by these thieves. Yeah, we call them thieves, of course. You know, if we don't call them thieves and sugarcoat and give them some fine names, that is what encourages them to keep on stealing public money. That is what we want to see. We want to see money stolen being returned. So people have guts. You are stealing public money with your wife. Yani huwezi iba peke yako. Somebody with the wife. You are making the county properties your personal. Yani you've inherited until you involve your wife who is not even working in the county, who is not even employed. That is bad manners. That is bad manners. Okay, so for the people who are joining, you can like the video, you can share, and you can also subscribe to our channel. Angela anasema Sakaja anadanganya, haiwak hata afadhali Sonko. Wa? Mnasema haiwak, we see it every day, they say inawak. Okay. Wale wanakaa Nairobi, you know. Oh, there's another story here. I think this is a story that people were almost forgetting. You know, Kenya people forget easily. Mandagos, shillings 1 billion Finland education scam. Case set for July. Wale watu walifaa waende Finland, wale walipesa yao. Now finally, the case has been set for July. Just imagine. I don't know why these cases cannot be satisfied as urgent. There are some useless political cases you see are normally certified as urgent. For example, why would somebody satisfy a case whereby maybe somebody challenging some elections as urgent? Why can't these politicians also be made to wait? And an important case whereby children paid money to go to school. They paid money, yes. And they paid money to a politician. Pesa yao ikagulwa. Then now, the case wants to take like 5 years. 5 years is enough for these people to graduate. Hata kama wameshinda cases. So they'll be given money once their colleagues have graduated. No, I think this is wrong. July, this is a case that started last year. Some of them have died of depression. Some of them have gone back to poverty after selling their property. They are waiting for the case. And the case, I know, will take several years. Is this one really justice? Is this one really justice? I don't think so. So a Nakuru court has set for first consecutive days to hear the shilling 1 billion Finland education program case. Facing was Gishun Senator Jackson Mandago. Mandago is charged alongside Meshach Rono, was Gishu Deputy Director, County Education Fund, and Joshua Lelei, a county official. So the senior principal magistrate Peter Ndege ruled that Mandago's trial will begin on July 1 to July 4. So Ndege took into account that the prosecution had lined up 202 witnesses atatoboa kweli to testify against the senator and his co-accused. The court needs at least 4 days to ensure we hear as many witnesses as possible during the beginning of trial. 202 witnesses. Si useme tu kesi waachane nayo na urudishe pesa bana. Some people okay. There's just some message of love that is in Spice FM. Tomorrow is 14th. County to build 244 million market on recovered land. Which county is this? Yes, this is Nairobi. Yeah. For a long time, residents of Muturi ward in Dagoretti constituency have been trading at Dagoretti market and paying sales to Kiambu County and not Nairobi. Yes, Dagoretti is in Nairobi. And these people have been trading in the Kiambu. Dagoretti is bordering Kiambu. Yeah. This is thanks to the to the lack of market in the constituency, forcing them to go to the nearby. Also, the people of Dagoretti have been trading in Kiambu, and that is how Nairobi have been losing funds. So now they are set to get a modern market, which is worth 244 million. After Mutuini Ward MCA Martin Bugwa, thanks to this MCA for intervening. So he recovered the land which had been grabbed in 1995. It was reclaimed last year with the support of the community and the Nairobi County government. So the people of Mutuini are now going to have a market. Some good news there. Now they are going to have a market. Another good news in Kiambu, they are going to build a 4 billion market in Kiambu. So that is good. And such kind of news is what we want. And if you are having a student who is supposed to join a college or university, there are some frustrations there. Yeah? Frustrations as the KUCCPS portal collapses. Wow. The portal has collapsed. Kenya universities and colleges. The portal collapsed. What is happening? Why did it collapse? We are told that learners are unable to access the system for several days and applicants are in panic over looming deadline. This is the government of Kenya. If it is not people failing to get passports, then the education portals are collapsing. What a horrible thing, eh? Students seeking placement in tertiary institutions have expressed their frustrations after the Universities and Colleges Central Placement Service, that is KUCCPS portal, collapsed. Several students told the Standard that they have been unable to access the system for several days and have been unable to follow up on the status of their applications. They claim the systems have derailed their efforts to prepare to join the institutions. So what are parents going to do? This is Kenya. This is Kenya. The portal is just deciding to collapse. Like the systems are not working. The students can no longer go to school. Why? Because of a simple portal. And we claim that we are digital. I think this is not right. Angela, good morning.
Morning tu, nanisikia?
Nakusikia kabisa. Endelea. Sema, nena na sisi asubuhi ya leo. Tumeona yale yametendeka. Kuna vitu mingi vinaendelea. So maoni yako ni yapi?
Sasa unasema ati frustration ya KUCCPS ya portal kwa watoto kuapply. So just imagine hiyo inakuwa na frustration. Just compare that to e-citizen ya kulipa fees ya watoto and then upate jibu utajua.
Exactly. Portal imeanguka, watoto hawawezi. So imagine e-citizen, fees imeshalipwa, portal imeanguka, e-Citizen nani hawezi jua
Fees ishalipwa,
nani alilipa
loopholes
pesa
wanataka
ngapi,
pesa.
watoto wanataka chakula.
Wanataka chakula.
Yeah, hiyo ni Kenya.
Just imagine. Alafu mnatuambia e-Citizen is the best way ya kulipa school fees. You know, tunaelewa ya kwamba uchumi ilipanda. Na hakuna venye principal atalipa watoto bila kuongeza pesa. Na government haiongezi. Government ingesema uchumi ilipanda. Wacha tuongezee watoto wenu pesa yenye tutapeleka, tuongeze 10,000 on top of that. Ndo principal pia wasifanye nini? Wasiongezee wazazi. Lakini wewe una imagine 20 liters of cooking fat inanunuliwa na 6,000. Unataka anunue na nini? Na wakati ulikuwa unalipa fee ya 42,000 ina national school ilikuwa inanunuliwa 2,500.
Yes.
Hii Kenya. Sioni nitahamia
Kenya,
na plan kuhamia Uganda.
Eti utahamia kwa nini uhamia Uganda?
Kenya sioni walai. Hapana.
Sasa kuhamia Uganda.
Afadhali nitafute tu pesa niende nifungue tu biashara Uganda.
So how is Uganda compared to Kenya? Huko kuzuri, hakuna tax?
Ziko lakini haziko corrupt sana kama Kenya. Like in Uganda taxes za biashara ndogo ndogo hizi haziko mingi vile.
So hakuna hizi taxes ndogo ndogo za kuumiza mwanabiashara wa kawaida?
Hakuna. In fact niko na cousin of mine na anatoa sukari Uganda anakuja kuuza Kenya. Anatoa spare parts za pikipiki Uganda anakuja kuuza Kenya. You see? Kenya tunapenda pesa sana, tumepanua tumbo zaidi.
That one sounds strange. Sasa umesikia hapo, portal imefail. Na watoto wanataka kwenda shuleni.
Just imagine if a portal can fail and you are saying you want to use e-Citizens for paying school fees of secondary schools. Just imagine the parents have paid the the principal needs to have to go and withdraw the money. Then the principal's reaches then they are being told that the portal has failed, the system is not working. How do you expect our children to survive in schools? That's just the example.
Story very, very, very hard. You know, it's going to there's going to be a crisis.
The same thing. It is happening in birth notifications, birth certificates. You go there, you are being told that the system is not working. System ziko chini. So now huku shuleni unaitishwa birth certificate ya mtoto, ukienda huko unaambiwa system ziko chini. Like nimetembea mwezi mzima nikienda Huduma Center sasa hivi nimechoka.
Goody anasema we should go manual. So in
even hata
passport, if it is not passport, then the system.
Yeah, okay, when you go to passport, you go to apply for a passport, you are being told that the booklets are not available, and the president is looking for creating job opportunities outside the country. Then you ask yourself, you wonder, the booklets are not available and the president is going to Japan to look for job opportunities for Kenyans. So how will you access that job opportunity and yet you don't have a passport? Surely
it's really hard. Ni kama tunachezewa.
Ni kama kuna game fulani tunachezewa.
There is a story there. Bado mtu anauliza, should IBC servers be hosted locally? So there's somebody who is saying yes, it will be hosted locally because it will ensure sovereignty of election data. Hosting electoral servers locally will ensure that data sovereignty in the sense that the information stored will remain in easily accessible custody of the government of Kenya. hosting of critical data outside the country does not guarantee security. Considering that elections have always been highly contested in Kenya, security and integrity of data is paramount. So the proposed law investigates transparency, trust among the various political players and country who participate in election processes. So people are proposing, or there's a proposal that is proposing that we have our IBC servers hosted locally. Hii mambo ya kutuambia servers ziko Venezuela, mara servers ziko France, mara sijui ziko wapi na watu bado wanalala, people don't want. But there are people who still believe that no, mistrust in poll processes. Kenya cannot handle this. No matter what our laws envisage regarding the storage of national data, I feel it is not yet time to host our election data within the country. Many do not trust our own institutions, particularly those that play a critical role.
But still, if but still ni same, zikiwa Venezuela bado tuko na shida, zikiwa France bado tuko na shida. Sisi wa Kenya wenyewe tukichukua hizo majukumu hatuaminiani. So ni wapi tunaelekea?
What? So people do not trust Kenyans. Kenyans do not trust themselves. And apart from that, Kenyans also don't
Jana nilikuambia. Jana nilikuambia the only problem with we Kenyans ni tunapenda pesa na hatuangalii mbele tunaenda wapi. You better betray your sister because of money. You better betray your father because of money. You see, that's the only problem we Kenyans have. But sisi wa Kenya tukikataa hizi hongo ndogo ndogo, we can make it and we can change Kenya.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is true. Look at this. Also, this is just an information that World Health Organization's cryptic is warning and new viral illness worse than COVID-19. Wow, tutatorokea wapi? There is a warning that there is another disease that is worse than COVID-19. And on the same side, you also told that radio remains the main source of news for those people who've been watching news. Inamaanisha watu bado wanasikiza radio bado ina umaarufu zaidi.
Unajua radio the cheapest means of communication. Unajua radio ukiwa nowadays wameleta hata radio za 500. Una understand? So nikinunua radio ya 500 nipelekee mamangu mashinani yako sawa juu hana access ya stima, hata nikimpelekea TV it's useless. Tunaona itakaa kwa ukuta juu hana stima. Utanunua sola uweke mashinani, utakuwa umehatarisha maisha ya hiyo boma. Hiyo sola itakuja kubebwa ama huyo mama wa. You understand?
Nakupata.
So to make things work, ununua radio ya 500 unampelekea.
So radio bado watu walikuwa wanasema radio imeisha, radio imeisha, ndio hiyo. Radio bado inawin.
Bado inafanya kazi.
So if you look at Nation bado inatupatia to the same story, the tribute to the Kenyan rising star, that is Calvin Kiptum. We've already looked at that story in the Standard. The whole world is mourning. Let me see if we have something new that we've not looked at. Yes, the same thing, Ruto trying to eclipse the National Security Council. Raila alleges, that Ruto is proposing some national security advisor position, which is against the constitution and against the security structures that we have currently. And Raila warned him. That story is in... yes.
Ile shida Ruto ako nayo, anataka kufurahisha watu wenye walimpea support. You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
But sometimes huwezi furahisha kila mtu. You know? Mimi nikikusupport mahali na wewe uende ufanye hiyo kazi kwa uzuri na uaminifu, hata mimi nitafurahia. Lakini shida yenye Ruto ako nayo, yeye ni kuweka ushuru juu, akicreate job opportunities zenye haziko, anataka kufurahisha watu wake. Like right now I'm just wondering, each and sijaona CS mwenye hana PM mwenye si mkale. Si each and every company iko na CEO mkale. You understand?
Yeah.
Tunaelewa, yes, ni mtu ukiwa mahali unasaidianga watu wako.
Si kawaida, si mtu ukiwa mahali lazima usaidie watu wako ndio waseme mtu wetu alikuwa uongozini. Unaelewa?
But yes, alikuwa uongozini, but na yeye yake iko too much. Alafu iko too much. Alafu kitu kingine hii ni side ya taxes. Unajua mimi husema Ruto's advisors ndio huwa wanammislead. Just imagine saa hii akisema amepunguza ushuru. I'm very sure leo he will collect more money than what he's collecting right now.
Apunguze tu ushuru.
Hizi ushuru ameweka kila mahali ni taxes, kila mahali ni taxes. Hata I'm very sure akipunguza mafuta atapata pesa mingi kushinda venye amepandisha na venye anauza saa hii. Nakupata, it's true. Apunguze ushuru ili Wakenya waweze kuafford. Like security hizo ni pesa.
Ukiendelea na hiyo page, they talk of the president return to restrive Mount Kenya. Yeah, so deputy president on Saturday got the backing of Mr. Ndindi Nyoro and said the region must be united. What is it that these people want to unite in Mount Kenya? Which unity is this? Hii ni unity gani? Tunashinda tunaambiwa kila wakati unite.
Hello?
Yeah,
unanipata?
Nakupata. Tunaambiwa Mount Kenya inafaa kuwa unite.
Mount Kenya will never be united. Haina mtu wa kuwaunganisha.
No, there's deputy president, there's Ndindi Nyoro, and there's the president himself, the kingpin of Mount Kenya.
Who?
What do you mean? William Ruto.
William Ruto himself can unite Mount Kenya na venye Wakikuyu wanalia. Hey, my friend.
No problem.
Let not somebody cheat you that William Ruto, when he goes back to Mount Kenya, there is something he will be getting. Even Kimani Ichung'wah knows how Mount Kenya people are crying. Some of them have just closed up their business. Like the other day, unakumbuka nikiwa pale nikikwambia hii ni kampuni ilikuwa inatengeneza shoe creams. Ina deal tu na viatu, gum ya viatu. But you know that guy had employed I think 15 people. Sasa amesimamisha watu 10 kazi.
That's so sad. That is the
things
state.
are not
Things are not
and
well.
things are not well. Now ndio watu wa kutoka Mount Kenya. And then you tell me that he's uniting Mount Kenya with the what?
Wah.
Hakuna. Like when I just walk around, unajua mimi nakaa Kariobangi, and in Kariobangi they call it light industry.
Yeah, Kariobangi there's a light industry.
Yes, I'm telling you, so when you walk in Kariobangi, you will find some houses are just empty. They have been written there, go down to let. Nobody is there. The person who was there, because of high taxes, business are not working. Mtu ameacha hiyo kazi, ametafuta njia nyingine ya kufanya kazi.
Ametafuta njia nyingine ya kunini?
Ya kufanya kazi. Juu mwenye nyumba anataka pesa, uko na wafanyikazi, pesa hakuna, utawalipa nini?
Did you look at that? Uh, Look at that on the e-citizen. The
Yes.
broken system. E-citizen nightmare. The government promised that the platform will help curb revenue leakage, but what is happening is that the patients, banks, and second-hand vehicle traders are among those who have been adversely affected by the poor services on the platform. But the government says it's working hard to resolve the problem, even as it accuses some of its officials of sabotage. Serikali inaleta e-citizen na inasema the officials are the ones who are sabotaging them. Does it mean the government hata sahi I trust the people who are working for him?
Hii government iko na shida walai.
Hii citizen ndio hiyo haifanyi kazi na hata before
You know that,
tuingie
you know the other day
yeah,
nikiwa job, hiyo jamaa, hiyo boss akakuja akawa gari yake inafaa iende inspection,
yeah,
lakini you can just imagine the system ziko chini, so the whole of the last week gari haikuenda inspection because the system ziko wapi, ziko chini. So inabidi uende uandikiwe barua ya kusema system ziko chini za NTSA ziko chini, ndio ufanye nini, uendelee na shughuli yako, and that is the government. So will this government will be just introducing things and then they start telling us the portal are not working, system ziko chini, or what are they trying to tell us? Mbona kama wanajua it cannot work, waachane nayo, let them look for another way yenye inaweza work. Why are they forcing things that can that those things cannot work, and they know? So if you see someone somewhere forcing things, he knows the profit. Hapo ndio utapata ati pesa hadi venye system zilikuwa chini, kuna pesa ilipotea. So system zilikuwa chini, pesa ilipotea, haijulikani ni nani alitoa hiyo pesa.
Systems zimekuwa chini, pesa ikapotea, pesa ikaenda hivyo.
Pesa ikaenda hivyo. So nani alitoa pesa na system zilikuwa chini? The same thing they want to apply to e-citizen for parents. Wanalipa school fees, system ziko chini, principal walitoa pesa na si principal wametoa pesa, watoto wakufe njaa shuleni. Hii Kenya hapana.
Kenya imekuwa na shida. Kenya imekuwa na shida.
Alafu unajua ukiwa na tamaa ya vitu mingi unakosa mwelekeo. Unatamani hii, unatamani hii, unatamani hii. Why can't the president just focus on one thing? Afanye kitu fulani kwa muda fulani. Ikimalizika ikiwa sawa, imerekebika, kama ni story ya KEMSA, dawa zikuwe hospitali, make sure kwa miezi 2, 3, 4 ameleta madawa za kutosha, KEMSA ina madawa za kutosha, hospitali zina work. The next minute I introduce e-citizen. Lakini ameleta e-citizen, ameleta sijui nini, ameleta sijui shift, ameleta sijui nini. All hizi vitu zote, si housing project zinaendelea. Hizi vitu zote anataka work at the same time. He's the person anaziimplement peke yake, na akiamka asubuhi ana implement anything amefikiria. Kama jana na leo ameamka ametafuta nini, ametafutia watu kazi. So
si ameenda kutafuta kazi Dubai.
Anakutafutia kazi Dubai na passport booklets haziko, utaenda aje Dubai?
Maybe
kuna kitu kunafunikwa.
Kazi inatafuta Dubai, lakini venye watu wanaenda haiko, like hakuna plan. All right,
hakuna plan.
Maybe somebody took the plan. Tutajua hapo mbeleni. Yeah, if somebody took the plan, we'll be able to know. Goodia is saying that the e-citizen will put the country on a standstill. Kenya is not ready for e-system. It has to be introduced slowly by winning the public. Actually, this is what should happen. The e-citizen is a good thing, but the public still don't trust in these kind of things. There is less trust. So the first thing that the government needs to do is to start winning the public. So once they win the public and they have the public on their side, then there is going to be a goodwill. Then it will now be easy for them to implement some of these things. And actually,
So
things like digitization, you can't just implement it once. It is gradual. You start with one item at a time. You can't just say that all of a sudden you want to put 3,000 government services in e-citizen. It's
then
impossible. It's impossible. Yes,
you expect it to work very fast.
it can't. It can't. Things don't work like that. Things work gradually. So I think that is what the president needs to be told, that okay, people want these things. People really want these e-citizen. Everybody wants a situation whereby you don't handle cash, but you cannot do it on a single day. You cannot do
Ndio
it on a
nimekuambia,
single day. Yeah.
ndio nimekuambia anafanya vitu mingi zinajaa kikapu, anataka hii kikapu ibebe hizi vitu zote safari moja. Sasa hii citizen ifanye i-access revenues, i-access school fees, i-access sijui nini. How? Mbona hawezi fanya kitu kimoja kifaulu ndio aongezee kingine? Ajaribu aone, nikiongeza ingine itafanya, itawork. Wananchi mnaona aje? Mnaipenda hamuipendi? Hatuipendi, tunaipenda. Sawa. Kama hamuipendi nimeachana nayo.
Lakini hiyo
Aya.
haifanyiki.
Haifanyiki. Wewe unasikia tu the government has introduced e-citizen. Hata haujaisikia akiongea mahali. Wakiamka asubuhi unapata news zinasema government has introduced e-citizen. Just e-citizen, just compare it to our children's in junior secondary. Those children who are in grade 9 right now, next year, where shall we take our children? Because in those primary schools where they are, the primary school says they don't have enough space to build more classrooms.
Yeah.
They don't have materials to build for. They need laboratories. So the school have no funds to put up the labs for them. So
what is
tell
going
me,
to happen?
now the government telling us that next year each and every parent who is having a pupil in grade 9 will have to look for a secondary school and take there your children. Si mzigo tunabebeshwa na si kupotoshwa tunapotoshwa.
Yeah. Hiyo ni kupotoshwa tunapotoshwa.
If the government iliona ya kwamba hatuna pesa za kutosha za kujenga madarasa, sasa kuna vitu mingi za kufanya, mbona ili introduce CPC system? Hatukatai, hii ni mzuri. Lakini kama iliona haina uwezo, unajua uwezi anza kujenga nyumba yenye hautamaliza. Mbona iliileta? Ingetuambia waja tujipange, tupange mikakati, tuweke pesa, tujenge mashule, tujue hawa watoto wakifika mahali kama hapa wataenda aje, wataendelea. Now they are messing our kids.
Yeah. That is true. That is true.
You can imagine, sasa umenunua uniform ya junior secondary, you are being told next year your children will be, you will have to look for a secondary school where they have labs for your kid to join there. So you will have to buy another new uniform. Once the shopping in fresh. Ya junior secondary ya kujoin sasa hiyo secondary. So you tell me, serikali yetu inatupeleka wapi? Serikali yetu ina mwelekeo upi? Inatupotosha ama inatupa mwangaza? Tuko gizani ama tuko kwa mwanga?
Ni kama mwangaza haupo tena, watu wameanza kuingia gizani. All right. That is the government that we are having. That is the government that we are having.
Raila is not expired. Raila is still strong. If Oburu, his brother, is this strong, then how about Raila, just a child who was born yesterday? So when you talk of contestations for the leadership of this country, others, people who are with us in leadership, particularly in our own coalition, you should not pressurize Raila to tell you that you are the one who is going to take over. No, just talk to people. Come, even here, if you force Raila to tell our people that they should elect you or they should nominate you to be their presidential candidate, without talking to them, without convincing them, they will not vote for you. So just come out and compete. Let Raila also be in the ballot. Let us be democratic. Let us select one best leader who will give us the leadership of this country. Let us not talk about it too early. Let us give everybody a chance, including Raila.
My brother.
How are you?
Yes.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm good.
Wait, so my English is very poor. I speak French.
Yes.
Oh, Africa.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes.
Wait.
doesn't mean that we have the title.
Yes.
but
Yes.
Just
Yes.
À chaque fois.
My good brother.
Yes.
Yes.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
We're having unusual.
Join us every Friday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for a captivating journey into the world of love, relationships, and romance, presented by the dynamic trio Maggie Knox, MC Jesse, and Annie Waweru. Bed of Roses promises to be your weekly dose of heartwarming stories, insightful discussions, and expert advice on matters of the heart. Whether you're single, in a relationship, or simply love a good love story, this is the show for you. Don't miss out on the chance to unwind and indulge in the joys and challenges of love, all brought to you by our talented hosts. Tune into Africa 24 every Friday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. and let us guide you through the enchanting world of Bed of Roses. Subscribe now and mark your calendars. You don't want to miss this. See you there.